Five, four, three, two, one, zero. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Live with Andy will be shot from our hotel room tonight. I'm just kidding. I severely lack the energy to do any sort of show tonight or in the next couple of days. My heart took another shit on me while I was jogging. I couldn't catch my breath, came to the hospital. Apparently my A-fib kicked in, and I have an enlarged ventricle that may need to be ablationed in order to work correctly again. So send me some good vibes, some good healing vibes, so I can get back to the task of taking down the deep state and hopefully saving this beautiful planet of ours. You know, when I get out of this hospital bed, there's got to be something to live for. And we're going to do it together, baby. See you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Back from the hospital bed. And I finally have enough energy to pull off a little bit of a show tonight. There's a lot of you guys that did actually send me some very generous healing vibrations out there, and I appreciated every single one of them that you guys gave to me in those moments. It was last Thursday that this happened. I got back from Arizona, you know, and I decided you gotta keep the cardio going after hiking in the mountains. So I decided to go for a jog on the flatlands of dusty West Texas, and I stopped to stretch a little bit, couldn't find my breath, and I learned a little bit later on, a couple hours later, that my A-fib, my heart, went out of rhythm once again for the third time. So I had to make a little trip to the hospital, and there was that video right there that I posted on Twitter, letting everyone know Friday night that I wouldn't be doing a show. So I am very grateful to the powers that be to get another chance to grace you guys with my presence on the internet. And I am grateful for all of you out there that said prayers, that sent me those healing vibrations. It really did help out. And thank you to Audra in the other room. She was my lone angel down here in Texas, taking care of me. And I don't know if I could have done it without her, and my parents, brother and sister, for checking on me. Thank you very much. And all the calls and texts and everything that you guys out there and Twitter messages and direct messages and emails that you guys sent me. I really do appreciate it. Every single one of them. John Wilkins, Freedom123, Kathy Sue, Nada 25, Sauce and Norma, End of Days Prophet. I know all you guys were out there. Wishing me, giving me some love and some support. And, you know, so they say with quantum science says that prayer works. It's you know, if you get enough people on the same side thinking about something, it's giving me some healing vibrations. It could work. So I did actually heal rather quickly. You know, one of the big things I preach here at Live with Andy Dybala is health and well-being and physical fitness and eating a healthy diet and taking care of yourself. And the doctor said if I wasn't doing that, you never know how bad my heart condition could have been. They just actually they shaved my chest. They put a paddle on my heart. They put a paddle on my back. So I go in the hospital, and after a couple days, they get some things in order. They put the paddles on me. They dose me with fentanyl. This is my third time doing this, and it's actually they put you under, so you're technically not alive for a little bit. And I guess they gave me the first dose of fentanyl, and I was still talking. So the doctor told me, like, give them a little bit more, put them under all the way. So they put me under all the way. The next thing you know, I'm just like popping up like Frankenstein, just popping up, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I like remember that vividly, just popping up like, what the fuck? And all the doctors are staring. I'm in this like Christian hospital in Texas, and all the doctors are staring at me, and nurses are staring at me. And Audra's standing over there in the corner, and I'm just like, God damn, it hurts so bad. I'm just mumbling curse words underneath my breath as feeling the electrical shocks shock me back to life. But luckily, I'm back here. I'm back in my own saddle. Everything seems to be under control. I've been slowly progressing and working out every day, just to give you guys a little bit of an update. I actually, here's a little video. I actually worked out this morning. So all you guys out there, that have had some time today and haven't gotten off your lazy butt and exercises, just let you know, 1 week ago today, I was in the hospital. And that was the start of my 4-day stint within the hospital. Got out on what was it, Tuesday? Now, today, a week from the day I was put into the hospital last Friday for A-fib. Home for 225. What's your excuse for not working out today? Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Back from the dead, baby. Throwing 225 up there. 3 times. It's my 3rd time I've been shot back to life with my A-fib. So I had to do 3 pumps for my 3 shots. 1 week. So just let you guys know, you got no excuse out there. Get your butt off the couch and at least go for a walk today. I like to challenge everyone at the end of my shows. 20 push-ups, 50 sit-ups. I've been progressively getting more, but I've missed a bunch of shows because I was in the hospital and on vacation. But yeah, one of the reasons I'm able to bounce back so quickly from this A-fib, the doctor said, was my health, my fitness, and my diet. I take care of myself. I was in the hospital for 4 days. A couple of days later, I'm working out again. I'm probably never going to go for a jog again in my life. I'll never be able to cross that mental barrier. That confidence is gone forever. But at 6'5", 270 pounds, 36 years old, I think I can give up jogging if I'm bike riding or something like that. The good old jogging days are over. But yoga, I do yoga 4 or 5 times a week, and I also like to pump my iron as I show, and I also walk my dog a bunch of miles. But once again, thank you to everyone out there for the prayers and the thoughts. It meant a lot to me. And while there's like a time, there's a time when I was in the hospital and I didn't have my meds. For those of you that don't know, I've had my thyroid completely removed a couple years ago, and I need this level thyroxone to survive, to replace my testosterone levels. There's a time in the hospital where they weren't giving me my levothyroxine, so like my testosterone levels were like tumbling down, and it's like I feel like my estrogen levels were creeping up. I started to develop all these feelings. I was watching, like, I cried during the Terminator 2 when Arnold Schwarzenegger got lowered into the lava. There's a lot of feelings going on when your estrogen levels are up. So for all the trans community out there and all the LGBTQ people out there, I just want to apologize. I'm just kidding right now, but I'm not kidding about my estrogen levels. Holy shit. When I didn't have that Synthroid, man, I was moody. I had mood swings. I got anxiety, a hot sweat. Something was going on. So I feel for all you out there that don't have enough testosterone floating around in your system. It's debilitating. Once my levels crept back up and they normalized, I was like, I called my dad and he started talking about something, and I started digging into conspiracy theories, and he was just like, Andy's back, his testosterone levels are back. So the things started leveling out and I felt back to normal, and a couple days later working out and back on the show. So thank you to all the doctors and nurses and for putting up with me and my emotions while I was in the hospital. I actually don't know if I have a lot of research I do that I'm going to be getting into today. I just wanted to kind of jump back on this beautiful Friday night and say hello to the audience again, and let them know that I am doing all right. I do have just a couple things I'm gonna be getting into. I've based off like my vacation and stuff, and then I got like one little Michael Callahan, James LeDuc, uh, pre-pandemic, pre-event 201 bit of tidbit, research tidbit I'm going to showcase at the end of the show, just to give you guys a touch of what I'm going to get into on Monday. I think I found like a meeting with all these figures that we've been digging into at Neighborhood News Studio with George Webb and Mark Kulaks and stuff. I found a meeting that took place in 2017 where all these guys participated and it set up this like pre-pandemic pathogens, and then event 201 and all these simulation exercises started coming out, and then SARS came out. So it seemed like there was going to be a medical takeover that was planned, at least. I mean, medical takeover has probably being planned since the Soviets came over at the end of the 90s, and they were incorporated into our United States governments and in our biological weapons operations. But they're finally like set to be put in place. Like it seems when Trump kind of took over as president. But let me say hello to some people in the audience real quick. We got Harry Bacharach. Harry is Bacharach again. Thanks for joining. Harry's been on the show a bunch of times. He would be an interesting guest to have, so I would love to have you on. Same with you, John Wilkins. What's I used to say it all the time. What's Porca Mazzalia? You guys figure out what that means. It's Italian for I caramba. Porca Mazzalia. I used to say it all the time around the office. Freedom 123. End of Day's Prophet. Kathy Sue. Nada's in there. Sauce and Norma. Good evening. You're such an awesome person. I have a single daughter still. Thank you very much, Ivana. I just was watching that Bridgerton show for a little bit with Audra in the other room, and yeah, speaking about like set marriages and weird Hollywood child pornography. Go watch that new Bridgerton show. It's like she's 17, and then they show a sex scene like 2 seconds later. It's like, what's going on here? But it's also just like, I think just they're trying to portray like what Meghan Markle was like going into her role next to Harry and as English royalty with this new Bridgerton show. They have like Queen Charlotte, and it's this black Queen Charlotte, and there's all these like awkward circumstances and stuff, and it kind of was like, oh, I see what you guys are trying to do here. So I was just kind of watching it in the background and getting the show together, trying to not complain too much and ruin the show for my loved one. But let's see here. I was actually enjoying. There was a little bit of a break before I went into the hospital. I was actually enjoying a nice little vacation in Arizona here. I went to first I went to the petrified forest on the eastern part of Arizona, where there's just like these giant petrified logs, where apparently there used to be this swamp and this giant forest with dinosaurs and mammals and this just this beautiful green ecosystem of life. And then when I go there, a couple million years later, it's just a desert in the middle of Arizona. And it makes you kind of just realize this whole like climate change agenda is really just for show. Just the Grand Canyon in general, it's just like there's mountains inside of canyons that were like carved out of water. And it's like now there's just like a little bit of a little river running through the bottom. So it's like, all right, guys, it's just like, just realize that the earth and our landscape is changing all the time, and for us to try to influence it as humans is just really a giant money grab, and the petrified forest kind of shows that. But here is the Montezuma Castle, which was awesome to go to. It's actually a little pueblo that's built into a cliffside, and it was only accessible by ladder. People were like, "Did you climb up into this thing?" It's like, hell no, unless I worked as a park ranger, I don't have access to this. But apparently, there's a bunch of them throughout the state and around Arizona, and it was awesome going and seeing this, and just kind of getting a historical perspective on how people lived back then. There's like apparently this was like lush farmland below them, and they used to farm the valley during the day, collect all their stuff and head back up into the castle at night. And it was still 94 degrees during the summer in there, but it beats 100 hundreds of degrees on the outside. And here's I actually went to the Devil's Bridge up there in Arizona. It was beautiful. Just had got to climb the mountainside. There's actually, just speaking of where like society is at, the reason I'm not on Devil's Bridge with this picture is because there's like a 2 hour wait just to walk across this bridge, and everyone had to have their Instagram moments. People were like proposing and getting married and popping champagne and stuff. So I decided just to kind of take a picture next to it, leaning over the little valley there. But it was beautiful nevertheless. And my little quote here, I'm getting my Indiana Jones on at Devil's Bridge. For those of you that don't know, I've done a lot of work into Michael Callahan, and he actually got his roots because he's a naturist himself. He's a hiker. He's a mountain biker, and wildlife medicine is actually something that like was his first love that got him into medicine, and that leads into like the bats and the caves and all that stuff as well, and the whole One Health and tropical school he's part of the tropical school of medicine as well, you know, with like Peter Daszak and all them. So like wildlife medicine was his start and was his first love. So I try to put a little research into my trip here as I went along. What else happened? I went to yeah, right next to that little Pueblo community. There was you could actually walk up right next to this thing. It was awesome. And then there's the Grand Canyon was in the background. Look at me do my little vacation slideshow like I'm in the 1960s. I do got a little research I'm going to do after this, but I love this type of stuff. I'm big into Graham Hancock and America Before and Magicians of the Gods and some of his past writings, like getting into the historical perspective of our human existence and how far it goes back. And I like going to these little sites when I'm traveling if I can and kind of get a perspective of the way that these people lived thousands and thousands of years ago sometimes. And it's fascinating that these people just built these little mud pueblos with their stones and had farming, and like there's a volcano in the background there that actually erupted and destroyed everything. Then they came back and reestablished themselves and their community in the area. And it's just shows that humans have perseverance, and we can overcome anything, people. There's a meteor, the big crater in Arizona. I actually went to go see that, but it's private. The crater in Arizona is privately owned, and it costs like $58 to go see it. So I just like turned around in the parking lot and was like, "See ya." But here's the volcano in the background with this is actually lava that's hardened up, and they had little trails walking around in the lava fields, and you could walk around the side of the volcano and explore the volcano edge a little bit. And it's actually a series of volcanoes going along the mountain ridge, the San Francisco volcano line, or there's like 10 of them, 10 to 12 of them, or something like that stretch all the way to like California from Arizona. So there's a lot of volcanic activity in Southwest Arizona, as well as like the Grand Canyon and these old settlements. It was a beautiful, fun place to go to. And speaking of the Grand Canyon, I did have some visitors while I was there. Now check this out, guys. Got some wild boars here in the background at the Grand Canyon. That one looks like Pelosi. That one looks like Hillary. And there's Pocahontas. Got some wild boars here in the background. They actually kept following us around the Grand Canyon. Forever. Hey, Hillary. How you doing? Don't get too close there, buddy. Don't get too close there, buddy. I don't want you rubbing up on my leg. If you know what I mean. I've been watching you, Hillary. You ain't my type. Say hi to Pelosi. Where's Pocahontas at? There she is. There's Pocahontas. I got my eye on you guys. Say bye. Say bye from Grand Canyon. So there's my boar sisterhood that was following me around at the Grand Canyon. I actually miss those guys now that I'm that one That one looks like Pelosi. What's you guys, man? Chaos is going on. I actually missed my Boer sisters. Now that I got to watch them on video a little bit, it was fun going to the Grand Canyon for the first time and checking it out. See that one. Sorry, actually, during the got a little video of the Grand Canyon here, a little sunset video that I took. During this sunset, I actually just like it was kind of raining. We were looking for a spot to pull over, and there's a little break in the clouds, a little break in the action, and this older gentleman, George, and his wife, actually they pulled over in front of us, and they were like walking up to the edge, and it was kind of raining a little bit. It was just like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And this George comes up and talks to me, and he has and this guy with stage 4 brain cancer, and he just got over lung cancer a couple months before, and then they got diagnosed with brain cancer, and he only, I guess they said he had 12 months to live, and he was on 18 months at that point. This was when he had his lung cancer, and it was just and he like gave me this like nice little speech about just life and how to try and like live happily and at peace with yourself and at peace with your existence. And the moment was very touching for me, and I'm glad I got a little video. And they said they were going to start following the channel, so I hope George and Carol are out there watching right now. That would mean a lot to me. And I hope George is still going. He gave me some inspiration when I was actually in the hospital bed myself this past week. I actually, when my heart was pumping and my heart was racing at 200 something beats per minute, and it was going like that for a couple hours, and they couldn't get it to slow down. I thought about George and all the medical stuff he was going into, and his outlook on life, and being at peace with everything. And I kind of it was just like, if he's okay, and if he's out there and he's checking out the Grand Canyon, I'm gonna make it through this. And settled down, and a couple moments later, took a deep breath. It was like a heart pop, they call it, where you squeeze down like you're going to the bathroom. I finally could rest enough to do one of those, and my heart popped, and it went back into rhythm enough where like my heart finally started slowing down for the night, and eventually they were able to shock it all the way back into rhythm. But yeah, if George, you're out there, I appreciate it. You were my little guardian angel in that moment. Heart fart. Yeah, that is what it's called. A heart. They're like, do a heart fart. What I called a poop shoot. I kept calling it a poop shoot. I was like, the poop shoot worked once my heart fart put my heart back in rhythm. But yeah, thank you to the doctors and nurses at Lebec Covenant Center. You guys really settled a brother down, and helped bring me back to. But yeah, that's just I don't think I'm actually going to get into any research. I just kind of touching base, letting you guys know I'm all right. It's Friday. It's Cinco de Mayo. You should be outside celebrating. Cinco de Mayo, by the way, is not like Mexican independence from Spain or anything. It's about like the Mexicans won the Battle of Pueblo against the French in Napoleon's army in the I forget what time periods exactly, but yeah, it's not for Mexican independence, but it's, I guess, grown to be a celebration of Mexican and American partnership. So just make sure you go out there and celebrate your Cinco de Mayo safely. Don't drink too much. I was just in the hospital. I'm not going to be drinking at all. By the way, look at this. Everyone out there, you guys normally notice I have a bunch of chest hair. When they shocked my heart, they like shaved half my chest hair. So I had this like weird half shaved, half chest hair look. So I had to shave my whole chest. And I feel like a little kid doing a podcast now. So I guess if you got a couple more prayers, say a prayer that my chest hair, my Tom Selleck, my David Hasselhoff chest hair comes back rather quickly. So I'd appreciate that one. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up for the evening. I will be back full force into research mode on Monday, digging into the deep states and their whereabouts and what they've been up to, trying to shine a spotlight on them, like I got on me right now. And I do have some, I know Dason, he sent me some things while I was like in the hospital and recovering, relating to Robert Maxwell and the Sandia Labs and the Los Alamos Laboratory, and maybe some like weird KGB connections out here in New Mexico. So I'm going to touch base with him. Hopefully he can come on the show soon. Dr. Bosa, I know he agreed to come on a show right before I was in the hospital. I got to retouch base with him and get some things scheduled. And there's a plethora of guests out there I need to get on the show as well. Dr. Paul Cottrell, I'll be reaching out to you soon via direct message on Twitter. John O'Loughlin, I'll be trying to reconnect with my old McDuff pal, John O'Loughlin. By the way, I've been watching that show with Woody Harrelson and Justin Theroux about Watergate on Netflix. And it's kind of like a parody, like they're making fun of what the CIA does, like kind of like, oh, conspiracy theorists, like this is what they think happened. It's pretty good show, but it's like, yeah, that is what the CIA does. You guys do run black ops, and you guys are trying to control control the narrative in the shadows a little bit too much, and that's still going on in this day and age, and that's why Kennedy died. And that's the reason John McDuff is still John McDuff. John O'Loughlin, aka McDuff, is still trying to fight his father's work with Saxa. So I'm going to be reaching out to John here soon, and some of my other peeps. When you're in the hospital, and your heart's racing, and the doctors are around you, and you're not gonna. You start having the thoughts of like, am I going to be around much longer? Yeah, you start wanting to put stuff behind you and just like move on in life, and like connections with people are like very, very important to you in those moments. Like I thought you just think about like your parents, your family, your friends, your loved ones. I guess I don't have kids, that's why I didn't say children. Your children, but like everyone that's touched you in your life, you just like want to wish you talked to them one last time, or like that phone call you didn't make. You kind of think about those things. And I would say leaving this show, going into this weekend on Cinco de Mayo, make sure you make that phone call. Make sure you reach out. Reach out. You never know when it's going to be the last time. But everyone, have a good weekend, and make sure you take care of yourself. 25 push-ups, 50 sit-ups. Take care of your health. Maybe don't eat that cheeseburger. Buy a salad if you're going out to dinner tonight. Put down the alcoholic beverage. Pick up a water. Wake up a little bit healthier tomorrow than when you went to bed tonight. And look at me. I showed you that video. I was working out a couple days later. Feel like I'm fully back to normal. Quick, you have if something does happen, oh, look at you, you're healthy. So it's like, yeah, but I'm not like going to spend 3 months in rehab. It was like 4 days and I'm back to normal. You have a lot quicker recovery. It's not as much of a setback. So, everyone, love yourself, love your brother, love your sister. Let's all just be friends and forgive and forget. Reach out. Reach out.